second topic. What I'd like you to do is take one hand on chest, one hand on stomach, and let's just take some deep breaths together. We're going to go through a breathing and a little bit of a visualization, okay? So one hand on chest and one hand on stomach. And as we breathe in, I want that hand on your stomach to rise. And as you breathe out, belly falls. In through the nose. Breathing out through pursed lips like you're blowing out a birthday cake. Candle. The reason we breathe into the belly is we don't breathe into the belly. We're expanding our lungs, getting as much air in as possible. And what that does is it pushes down our diaphragm so that our belly comes out. It's our stomach, our guts, intestines. So that's why your belly goes out. Couple more. If you notice, when we're in a high pressure or you're going to get in a fight with somebody, we breathe from our chest. So when I'm teaching breathing exercises, I make sure that they're breathing in through the nose deep into the belly, because that's where relaxation, calmness comes. If I'm breathing in the chest, I'm actually accelerating my heart rate, which is making things worse. 2 more deep breaths together. In through the nose. Hold. Out through the mouth. Last one. Now I want you to bring your awareness to the room, to the sounds in the room. Could be a heater kicking on or traffic outside. Now let's bring that focus, that awareness internal. Could be the hand on the chest. Maybe you're feeling the rhythm of the heartbeat. Now I'm going to use a baseball example, but use your example from your sport. Baseball and softball is the majority of the people in the room. So see yourself up at the plate. 2 outs, bases are loaded. Tying runs on third base, go ahead run for the win is on second base. As you strive into the plate, step in the box, see the pitcher. Two strikes go by. Now you're 0-2. Step back in. Pitcher goes into the windup, delivers, ball outside. Strike 3. Umpire calls strike 3 on a ball outside. Crowd is going crazy. Some are for you, some are against you. And you're walking back to the dugout. Head down, maybe you're pissed off. Slam your bat, put your helmet away, and go sit by yourself at the end of the dugout. Again, if that's not your sport, go with your sport on something that you tend to struggle with. So you're sitting on the bench. You're on the bench. And I want you to think of yourself in a vulnerable position, maybe a fetal position on the ground. Because that's what maybe you feel like in your mind. You let your team down. You struggle versus a pitcher that you should have hit. And all of a sudden, your evil twin comes up to you with a baseball bat or a softball bat. Now, I'm not saying they're hitting you, but maybe they're hitting you just to make sure that you know that you failed, just to make sure you know that you suck. How could you do that? How could you let the team down? You're embarrassing yourself. Now take a moment. How do you feel right now? Because not only are you the one getting beat up, because that's what we do when we fall short in life, is we beat ourselves up. Not only are we ones feeling beat up, but we're the ones doing the beating. That's double the negativity. When we fall short, we're the ones that fall short, and we're also the ones that really make sure we know we fell short. Couple deep breaths. Same thing happens. You just struck out. You're walking back to the dugout. Slam your bat, put your helmet away, and you're going back to the end of the dugout. No one's bothering you. You're by yourself. And all of a sudden, your good twin comes and sits next to you. They put an arm around you. That physical touch can be healing if it comes from the right person. They tell you to take a deep breath. So we do. Why? Because the deep breath gives us perspective again. It allows us to calm down. And it brings us closer to being back where we want to be. And then that good twin says, hey, guess what? Everyone strikes out. Everyone falls short. Just happen to be you right now, and it sucks. But I'm here for you. And then that good twin says, hey, guess what? Guess what's true? It's true that you're still a really good player. It's true that you're worthy of love. And it's true that I need you to get back on defense and bring it. That's what a good inner coach does. It does three things well. It gives us mindfulness of the present moment by helping us take a deep breath. It relates us back to everyone else. Hey, this game's hard. Sometimes you're going to struggle. Sometimes you're going to succeed, but you're going to struggle a lot. That's just part of sports. And then it's going to hit us with some kindness, some truth. But you're still a good player. And I'd still rather be with you than anyone else because I believe in you. Let's do 2 more nice deep breaths here. What we see in that situation is failure, falling short. But you're the one that needs healing, and you're the one providing the healing. And it's your choice. Do you want to be your best coach or your biggest critic? It's very easy to be the biggest critic because, guess what? It comes naturally. But what I'm asking you to do as you step into this D1 becoming is I'm asking you to go over fact over fiction. Fact over fiction. Fact is, you're still a really good player. Fiction is, you suck. Quit your sport. Gosh, no one likes you. That's your inner coach. I'm sorry, that's your inner critic. Your inner coach is building you up. Your inner critic is breaking you down. You get to choose which one you want to be. Make the choice. There's only one right choice. And it's something you will have to work at over and over till that becomes your first thought response. And I promise you, you work at it enough, I promise you, you will become your best coach. And you will pick yourself up every time so that you can rebound quickly back to being your best. We've all been a great teammate to somebody in life. Why? Because we want them to feel good about themselves. Why? So they can get back to being their best. Now it's our turn to turn the mirror on ourselves and become our own best coach. Start to wiggle the toes, start to wiggle the fingers. Slowly start to open the eyes. Whoo! Forgot I was talking to you all. How'd that go? Okay? You see how powerful that is? It's either you're the one doing the hurting, and it's going to be double the hurt, or you're the one doing the healing. It's going to be double the healing, double the rebound rate. Okay? So, moving on. I'm going to go back and share my screen. We're going to that next sheet. Does this feel like it's going fast? Are you enjoying it? I am. Thanks for entertaining me today. Okay, I'm going to go back and share my screen here. Oh, I love this stuff. Share. And here's the formula you've all been waiting for that I teased you with in our pre-event calls. It's time to get the answers. It's Sunday and we're doing some math, but this is the best math problem you'll do all day. Okay. Everybody see that okay? Just getting a couple thumbs up. Cool. Thanks, Jasmine. Appreciate that. Needed that. Okay, so you will fail. Sorry to admit. If you haven't figured that out in life, you will fall short. You will make mistakes. You will make errors. But let's look at this together. You do not have to stay in a negative state. So negativity equals failure times resistance. Let's go over some definitions, okay? Negativity, that's an outcome. We all know what negativity is. Think about the emotions. Embarrassment, frustration, anger, bitterness, jealousy. You fill it in. Negativity, okay? Failure is pretty simple. It's not getting the job done, okay? And in another talk that I use, I also use the word pain, and pain could actually be an injury. And I know some of you are dealing with some injuries right now. So just also keep that in mind as we talk about this, okay? So failure, and then resistance. Usually I like a little interaction, but I'm going to go through this. Resistance is wishing things were different than how they are. Okay, wishing things were different than how they are. So check this out. Eyes up here. When I fail, the more I wish things were different, the more I wish I didn't strike out, the more I wish I didn't hit that ball out of bounds, the more I wish I didn't give up that home run, the more negativity I will internally experience. The more I fail, when failure occurs, not if, but when failure occurs, the more I wish I didn't, the more I wish I didn't make that error, the more negativity I'm going to experience. Does that make sense? Okay? In whatever form of negativity you experience. So, what, based on this definition, someone unmute and give me the opposite of wishing things were different than how they are. What is the difference of wishing things, the opposite of wishing things were different than how they are? Nobody. Acceptance. Acceptance is the opposite of wish. Yeah, see that, Ben? You got someone with you saying, see, you should have answered it. You knew the answer. Yeah. Okay. You had some negativity. You didn't want to be embarrassed if you got it wrong. See? So, acceptance. Acceptance is simply being okay with what is. Okay, before you get all up in arms against me, being okay with what is does not mean that I have to like it. Does anyone like when they fall short? No. But can I change it? I cannot change with what's happened. So if I can't change what's happened, what if I just learn to accept it? What if I learn to accept what is? Which one is going to keep me stuck and which one is going to keep me moving forward? Make sense? Okay? That's the magic formula. So let's look at this so we can kind of really grasp it. Again, my job is not to hype you up. My job is to show you the what and give you the how. Right now, I'm giving you the how. Okay, so negativity equals 25. Okay, that's my outcome. Okay, failure is my constant, right? Constant means that's not going to change. Guess what? Failure is going to happen every single day. Today you did something where you fell short. Tomorrow you will too. And the more we accept that sometimes those things are going to happen, the more we can grow from it and move forward. So failure, let's say it's 5, and then my resistance is a level 5. Okay? So all of a sudden, if I stop wishing things were different than how they are, if I stop resisting every time I fall short, every time I make a mistake, all of a sudden, I have less resistance. Does that make sense? So all of a sudden, my failure, it's constant. That's not changing. But if I can change my resistance to that by my acceptance going up, why? Because I can't change what is. But if I learn to accept it, I can let it go. All of a sudden, I have how much negativity? More or less of the same. Less, right? I have less negativity because I am accepting what is because I can't change it. I realize I'm repeating myself, but one of these times it's going to hit home and click for you. That acceptance, it's not a waving a white flag and say, I give up. Acceptance is actually the more mature thing. It's accepting and say, you know what, that happened. But it doesn't have to define what happens next. Bam, rebound. All of a sudden, and I truly believe that this is possible because when I go golfing and shoot 100, I promise you, do I have, negative thoughts? My only negative thought is, well, I hope that that sound wasn't a window that I broke or that a person that I hit when my ball went out of bounds. That's the only negatives I have when I'm on the golf course because I fully enjoy it. Why? Because I accept, whoopsie, pull that eraser out. What happens if I have full acceptance? Well, that resistance went down to a 0. And I like interaction, but for the case, I'm just moving forward here. If I have full acceptance, when failure happens and I fully accept it, I literally can have 0 negativity. It is possible. It is possible. Okay? If that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. Okay. Is this easy? No. Is it simple to understand? Absolutely. It is not easy, but if you start today saying, you know what, the next time I make an error or fall short or make myself look dumb, instead of really wishing that that didn't happen, what if I just said, you know what, that happened? Okay, let's move on to what's next. Guess what? Well, there's going to be 0 here, but I can't just have nothing there. Nothing, something will come in. So again, so what I'll do, all right, I have, hey, Dylan Cummings, you unmute real quick.
Yeah.
You get to the point where you fully accept what is. Instead of negativity being there, what do you want to be in there?
Growth and learning.
Growth, learning. Anything else?
Maybe just like to build off acceptance, just kind of an understanding of what happened, like a recognition almost.
Mm-hmm. And we'll get to those. But if all there is ever negativity right here, what is the opposite of negativity?
Positivity.
Would you like to enjoy your sport again?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, because we play sports, we don't work sports. Okay, you can mute yourself again. Thank you, Dylan. Okay, so the whole point of this is, despite failure, I know I'm getting messy over here again, but despite failure, you can still enjoy your sport, despite falling short, despite mistakes, missed layups, whatever it is, whatever sport you're is, despite what's going on the negative side. When you fully accept that you know failure is going to happen, you can still enjoy your sport. So I'm going to share this with you real quick. I need you to write this down. Ready? Failure is unavoidable. But, there's a big but. Negativity is optional. Failure is unavoidable, but negativity is optional. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but I kid you not, when I go golfing, for the one time a month I get to go, Am I going to use that 4.5 hours to just beat myself up? Because I see it. I get in groups where I hear it, right? It's like, wow, you are very not kind to yourself. I go out and have a blast, even if I'm not playing well. Why? Because I know I'm going to fail. I know I'm not a good golfer yet. Y-E-T, powerful word. Another talk, another time. Okay? But negativity is optional. If it's optional, guess what? I'm not going with it because it's not going to help me play. Criticism has never helped you, not even once. We do it, but criticism has never helped you. There's a quote that says, negativity works negatively 100% of the time. Negativity works negatively 100% of the time. The other part of the quote is positivity works sometimes. Positivity does not always work, does not always get you what you want. But if there's two choices, and there's actually a third one, neutral, another talk, another time, okay? But if positivity or neutral state is available, I'm going with that because it's going to help me play to the best of my ability. It's going to help me live to the best of my ability. How's that? Good? Okay, now you have like my coolest trick. I feel like the magician who gives you the secret. And now it's like, oh yeah, I get that. Okay, but think about that. Don't think about it only, but apply it. Apply it in your life. Just got to stay on schedule here. Okay, real quick. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Let's see here. Hey, Larkin, real quick, give me an aha moment from that. What are you taking away from that?
Uh, I think that the last thing that we just talked about, the failure is unavoidable, but negativity is optional. I think that's like a key point that we should work on and accept and use to our advantage.
Absolutely. I love it. What else? Let's see. Athena Fleming. What did you take away from that? What was an aha moment?
I think even in adulthood, we fail every day. So, as a child, as an athlete, as a teenager, you're going to fail every day. And you have to accept it and move on and not be embarrassed, because even as a 40-something-year-old, I fail every day. And you have to learn from it. So don't be embarrassed, move forward, and definitely try to stay positive, positive with your words and your actions. I think this is all very, just a good lesson in life. Appreciate it, Ray.
Thank you. So, Athena helped me think of something real quick. When we are playing from the inner coach rather than the inner critic, when we are accepting failure as something that's part of the game rather than something we really want to resist and we just like want to shy away from, it helps us become curious rather than critical. Write that down. Curious rather than critical. When you fail, a lot of times you just want to criticize yourself. So you're focusing more on the problem than the person being you. So when I slice the ball out of bounds, or when you strike out, do you say, hey, how did you strike out like that? How could you strike out? Or do you say, hey, what happened there? Notice you swang over that ball. Okay. How did you see the ball well? Oh no, my eyes were, oh, okay. Well, maybe next time, see the ball well. Might help you a little bit. Okay. Might minimize that failure and get you more in the success category, right? So think about, you're either going to criticize or you're going to get curious. Get curious, because we don't like to fail. It sucks, let's be honest. But if I'm not growing from that failure by asking out of curiosity rather than criticism, because when you ask a critical question, you actually don't care about the answer. You're just making sure you messed up and you fell short. But when you're like, hey, what happened there? You notice the tone change and you're soft and kind with yourself. People think, oh, well, it's not macho. Guess what? Macho is overrated. Would you rather be done with your sport or be playing your sport and be better because you chose to say, hey, what happened there? That makes sense? Okay. All right. Let me check on my schedule. I think we're on time.
Ray, can I ask something really quick?
Sure. Who's that? Oh,
Athena.
Yeah.
When you say get curious, I mean, I think that's awesome. Like, we all learn from our failures. So is it asking a coach? You obviously ask your inner self, but what do you suggest in the curiosity movement to help yourself become more curious?
I think first you have to ask yourself, because if I always rely on somebody else, like all this technology is available today, the Rhapsody, all this, if I just go to the numbers or go like that, I'm never actually feeling what's going wrong. Like if you're feeling a swing or feeling a hitting motion or feeling whatever, like you need to know what it feels like when you're doing it right and when you're not doing it right. But then if you can't figure it out, go to a teammate who knows you really well. Go to a coach if you have an encouraging coach who actually cares about helping you improve. But that you first have to have the awareness and the humility to say, hey, I want to change this. I'm like, rather than staying frustrated, I want to get fascinated on how do I get better, right? So I think it starts with number one, being honest with yourself, taking ownership that you screwed up. It wasn't somebody else's fault. It was you. And then, okay, what do I want to do about it? Make sense?
Thank you.
That